Hi everyone, welcome back to Lovely Lavender Wishes. It's Renee. I hope you're having a very blessed day today. So today we're continuing on with John, and I am doing a page that Debbie Menard did in one of my Facebook Bible journaling groups. So again, not my idea. I am copying her page, or I'm imitating what she showed us in her live. Again, I'm going to take her ideas and probably do some things a little bit differently using what I have. And again, all your pages will look different as well, as you are, using the tools and supplies that you have. This stuck to this when I just sewed my page. There we go. So yes, I did prep my pages because we are going to be using watercolor. So I prepped both pages. We are going to be in John chapter 20. So again, to preface this whole thing, it's not my idea. I am copying an idea that Debbie Menard did in one of our classes. And I loved this page and I really wanted to do it. So today we are focusing on chapter 20 of John, and it's the resurrection. And one thing that's cool about this that I just love is that when so just in verse chapter 1, we'll just start. It says, on the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb early. So she was the first one there while it was still dark, and saw that the stone had been taken away from the tomb. So she ended up running and going, telling Peter and the other disciple whom Jesus loved, which we think is John who wrote John. And she's like, he's gone, they've taken him, I'm just paraphrasing this. So both those disciples, both Peter and John, ran to the tomb. Now, the interesting thing about this is both of them were running together, but John outran Peter. John is that real, impetuous one, right? And he outran Peter. He got to the tomb first, but they both went in. And they saw that there was just linen cloths lying there in the tomb, the face cloth as well, and that it was empty, and that Jesus wasn't in the tomb. So it says in verse 8, then the other disciple who had reached the tomb first, John, also went in, and he saw and believed. For as yet they did not understand the scripture. Remember, we did a page on not understanding. Let me see if I can find it, because sometimes we don't understand what Jesus is doing. Where did I do that page, y'all? Oh, goodness. Maybe I did it in my other Bible. I can't remember. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So we did a page on we might not understand now, but be patient and have faith. And one day we will understand, right? Well, here again, it's talking about how John did not understand yet, as of yet, but he understands it later, y'all. But he didn't understand scripture that he must rise from the dead. Then what's interesting here is the disciples went back to their homes. So the two disciples went back, but guess who stayed? It says Mary stayed. She stood weeping outside the tomb, and as she wept, she stooped to look into the tomb, and she saw two angels in white sitting there where the body of Jesus had lain, one at the head and one at the feet. And there's a lot of symbolism in that about the angels, one being at the head and one being at the feet. You can study on that. But they ask her, why are you weeping? And so, she's talking to these angels, and she says, they've taken away my Lord, and I do not know where they have laid him. And having said this, she turned around, and guess who she saw? She saw Jesus standing there, but she didn't know it was Jesus, which I think is just, woohoo, so cool. And Jesus said to her, woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you seeking? And she thought he was the gardener. And again, that's another really cool symbolism. If you go back to the Garden of Eden, who is the gardener of Eden? Who established the Garden of Eden? I mean, there's so much symbolism throughout biblical scripture that I just love. And again, we've talked about the vine and the branches and how God is the vine dresser. And, all these garden images are always woven throughout scripture, all the way from Genesis all the way through to Revelation, because in Revelation, they talk about the garden again and the tree of life and all that. But again, she thinks he's the gardener, which he is kind of technically. And she said, sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you've laid him, and I will take him away. And Jesus said to her, Mary. And she turned and said to him in Aramaic, Rabboni, which means teacher. So here she recognizes him. And Jesus said to her, do not cling to me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father, but go to my brothers and say to them, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, to my God and to your God. And Mary Magdalene went and announced to the disciples, I have seen the Lord, and that he had said these things to her. Oh my gosh, I'm getting goosebumps, y'all. Mary, the first woman, the first person to have seen the Lord after his resurrection. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? Can you imagine, y'all? Oh, that would be so cool. So anyway, so we are focusing on verse 18. So chapter verse 18, where she says, I have seen the Lord. And I am going to be using this printable. So for those of you who are not in our Facebook group, it's fine. You don't have to have this printable. Just get a picture of a lady, any kind of lady. You can Google images of ladies or drawings of ladies, or you can even put a picture of your face there if you want. Because have you seen the Lord at some point in your life? Whether you've physically seen him or felt him in some way, I think if you're a Christian, we have all seen the Lord in some shape or form in our lives. So you can put a picture of yourself here if you want, or just a drawing of a lady, whatever, and just pick, again, some flowers. You got here we are with the flowers again, but it's not my page. It was Debbie's page, so she was the one technically using all the flowers. But we are going to be using today, she used some pigment powder. I do not have pigment powder. Well, I have pigment mica powder, and it's that shiny powder, and what that does, if you only mix it with water, it will rub off onto your page. All the mica powder will rub off. So you have to use like a gum arabic or some kind of binder if you're gonna be using mica powder. So I decided, you know what, I'm not even gonna do that. Instead, I'm just gonna use my pearlescent watercolors. So I'm gonna be using this light pink and this darker pink, okay? So first let's do the light pink. And these are two different pearlescent watercolors I've gotten, I think from Michael's. So let's get these started. And I am just going to slop them on the page, y'all. And what I want to do is I want them to kind of run. So I'm gonna get a lot of water on here and have it kind of run off the side of the page. And of course, I'm gonna make a mess, I'm sure. So come on, run, run, run. And then when it hits the edge here, I'm gonna stop it. So I'm gonna get this watery, very, very watery. And I'm gonna have it run that way a little bit. Run down. Sorry y'all, let's see if you can see what I'm doing on the page here. Just having it run. Her face is gonna go right around here, so I'm gonna have it kind of drip down here, drip down here, drip down here. Again, don't worry about making a mess. It's supposed to be messy. It's supposed to be fun, y'all. Have fun with it. And I'm gonna have it run this way now too. And the more water you put on it, the more it'll run. Let's see if we can tilt this a little bit. Just dab it up a little. I'm gonna let that sit there a little bit, and then on this side I'm going to do a little bit as well. I'm going to have it run down the page a little bit, and this is just the light one. We're going to start with this, and since it's pearlescent, it's going to shimmer and shine. You know, y'all know, gotta have that shimmer and shine. And then what I think I might do, I'm just gonna do a little bit of splatters, just a few, as I'm getting it everywhere, but that's okay. Love the splatters, y'all know that. Okay, so we're gonna close this one up, and we're gonna dry that first layer real quick, and then we're gonna go to the darker pink. And the reason why I'm using light and dark pinks is because in this printable, we've got like these light and dark pink flowers. So we're just kind of, you know, copying the colors a little bit. So let's dry this, at least get it mostly dry. I need to move this over. So I think, yes, it's so cool that Mary Magdalene was the first one to physically see Jesus after his resurrection. The disciples ran in. They got there first. Well, she was there first, really, but they ran in and they went into the tomb. Mary didn't go into the tomb, so she was sitting outside the tomb. But she still got to see him first. I love that. And again, when you're using watercolors and such on your page, you get these little pockets of puddled areas and stuff. And I love that because then you'll get some darker and lighter colors. And if it's taking too long, you can dab it up with a paper towel. Yeah, I'll move this over just a tad more. So you do want to prep your pages with some gesso, some clear gesso, if you don't want it to leak through to the other side. That should be pretty good for now, I guess. Okay, let's get this back on. Okay, so now let's do this darker pink. And I'm not sure how this will all react with each other, but we'll test it out and see. So let's get this activated with the water. Oh yeah. And I'm gonna just kind of do some splotches and such. Have it run. And you can just pick up your Bible and just tilt it and let it run into the little crevices or wherever you want it to go. You can guide it with your brush a little bit if you want. The more water you put on it, again, the more it'll run on you. I'm gonna see if I can get this tilted and running that way, and then let's have it maybe go this way a little bit. And then I'm gonna put a bunch down here and have it kind of running down this way. Just put more water on it. And then I'm gonna hold it up and there we go. There we go. It's starting to run the way I want it to go. You kind of just want it to look like splotches. But you can just smear it on whichever way you want, really. And you can direct it even a little bit if you... Oh, I love that. Okay, let that sit for a little bit, and let's do a little bit on this side. You can do it. You can do it. Run a little bit. There we go. Ooh, I love that. There we go. I don't know if you can see that on camera. It's kind of how it's running. Ooh, pretty. Okay, I think I'll stop it right about there. Oh, I love that. Okay. And then the next thing I'm going to do is do a few of these dark splatters, but I think I got too much water on that, so let's try that again. Oh, yeah, there we go. Y'all know me and splatters. Gotta have the splatters. And I'm probably getting it more on my desk and everything else than my actual, than the actual page. You know what? And I want some to run into this crevice and to kind of run onto this page a little bit. I don't know why. I just like that. It's probably gonna soak through that crevice into some other page, but you know. Okay, so then you can put your watercolors to the side. We don't need those anymore. And now let's dry this real quick. Yep, oh boy, y'all. I'm looking at my desk right now. I've got splatters literally everywhere. I need to set up like a barrier or something when I start doing splatters because I literally get it everywhere. I need to move some of this though. So with this pearlescent watercolor, you'll get like a little bit of shimmer and shine. And by doing two different layers, you get two different kind of colors. I don't know if y'all can see that in the light. You're gonna see a light pink and then the dark pink over it. So you get like this layered look, again, just with watercolor. Okay, this has to be dry before we can do the next part, because the next part we're going to be doing is embossing, stamping and embossing. So this part definitely has to be dry before we can do that. So I'm going to flip this page over and go to the back. And it looks like it's coming through the back a little bit, but once it gets all dry, I don't think any of it will show through the back. But it doesn't matter if it does. If it does, I can always paint over it or make it part of my next page. It'll just be extra added color on my next page. It's no big deal. I know some people get really uptight if something bleeds through their Bible. I don't really mind. I just work it into my picture. But as you can see, once it starts really drying, that color fades away and it doesn't look like it's going through. It's just some of these little dark spots that are still wet, look like. Sometimes it helps dry a lot faster if you do both sides. Okay, I've got a couple really wet spots, so let's dab those up a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna move this water too because otherwise I know I will make a mess. Okay, so I'm gonna dab up some of these puddle areas. Okay, not too bad. Got a book under here to hold all this up. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is, what is the next thing we're going to do? Okay, so we're gonna use the Versamark. Okay, so look, I got splatters all over her face here. Oh well. So she's gonna go right about here. So I have this stencil, these dot stencils, and I have this Versamark stamp pad. And this is like a sticky ink, and I'm putting it on my, here, so I got this Versamark, and I'm putting it on my little sponge applicator here. And I'm gonna have these dots coming out kind of like that. So I'm gonna press the Versamark into here. And I don't know where they all went because you can barely see it, but I'm just gonna kind of do a few more and maybe some down here. Okay, and then I'm gonna do, well actually let's do one section at a time. Let's just do one section at a time because it might get a little difficult here. Okay, so here is clear embossing powder by Ranger. I am going to put it on the page right here. I can't hardly see where my Versamark ink was, So I'm just smearing it everywhere. And then what I'm going to do, I'm gonna move that for now. I'm gonna just shake all this off onto this, okay? So I can see the dots right there. And I'm gonna put this back in here so I don't make a mess. And then instead of using, what Debbie did, instead of using like actual color embossing powder, she heated up her embossing powder and then she had gold flakes. I have these copper flakes. These are sheets of really, really thin, and I make a mess with these, really, really thin, I'm gonna throw that one out. Little copper pieces, okay, little sheets. They come in a variety, like this was a sheet of like 50 or 100. This might even been 150 sheets. I got it from Amazon, or this was either from Amazon or AliExpress. And these are like rose gold or copper colors, okay? So what she did is she heated this up and just a tad to get it sticky and not till it totally melts. And then she put this on top. So let's see how this works. I haven't done this before, so I am imitating what she did, and we're gonna see how this works. So I'm gonna heat this up just a tad and get it so it just starts to melt. And when it's not melted yet. Okay, there it goes. And when it starts to melt, you can kind of put your copper pieces or your gold pieces or whatever on yeah, mine's probably not going to work as well as hers did, but we shall see. Okay, hang on. I need to get more of this. And then you can rub it off. And I know this heating tool gets really hot really fast, so you know what? Mine is not. I can feel it getting hot. Okay, I'm gonna rub all this off. There they go. Some of it's forming into circles, but not the best. I'm probably not doing this right. But that's okay. I don't care if it's circles or not. Okay, so let me grab another sheet. I'm gonna put this right here. I'm gonna grab a piece here. I'm gonna do up here. And as you heat up your embossing powder, you can stick the flakes to it and then rub off the extra and it'll stick to it and melt. You can also do it with glue. It might work better with glue. You can kind of see, I'm not doing this as well as she did at all, but hey, and I am making a huge, huge, huge mess here. I've got copper flakes everywhere, but we'll just keep working on it. But I still like it. I even like just that part. So let's try, I'm gonna move all this over here. So with these things, it does make a mess, as you can see. Okay. Blow it out of your crease. Okay, I can see some of the circles there. So depending on you, it's a balance of your embossing powder, your Versamark, and your embossing powder melting, and you got to get it right at the right time when it's melting. So let's try a little bit more. Where'd my, you can always go back and try more. So let's do just some right there. we'll see if I can get better at this as we go. Okay, here's my sheets. I'm gonna move this book for now. Okay. We don't want this blowing everywhere, so we are going to put this away. And I'm probably gonna get some of those gold flakes in here, but that's okay. If I get some of that in my next embossing, it's no big deal. Okay, here we go again, y'all. So let me grab a sheet here. I'm gonna hold this. Let's see if we can get this to work. A little bit. A little bit. Not as well as I wanted it to, but it's working. Whoop. Okay. So let's do some down here. What I could do even, I might just do, not even with the embossing powder, I might just do, let's try gold, or I'm just gonna try some glue dots like this. And let's try and see how that works. And we'll see which works better for me. And then you just kind of rub off the extra. I mean, I'm not getting perfect circle dots, but that's okay. Now, if you don't have any of this gold flakes, you can use embossing powder, which would be a lot easier. You just put the stamp on and the embossing powder would stick to it perfectly. You can use a stencil with gold paint. You can use a gold marker, or, you know, this isn't gold, this is like rose gold or copper. You can use, you know, anything like that. But look, those are a little bit bigger circles. These are a little bit smaller circles, and I'm gonna rub that. I'm actually gonna put a few bigger ones up here. Oh, I got a piece of string there. We'll get that off. And just rub that in. I am making a mess, y'all. Okay. Whew, okay. Let me figure out a way to clean this off real quick. I'm gonna just take this whole thing and dump it in my trash over here. Okay. There we go for that. And then I'm gonna put a few over here. So I'm not even gonna do the embossing part. I'm just gonna put some glue, little dots. And then I'm just gonna take this last piece of sheet. Stick it all down. And then rub the excess off. And just do a few little extra dots. And use up these pieces. Stick them, stick them, stick them. At this point, I don't care if it is circles or not, because they're not going to be. They're just going to be little patches, but it's still going to look cool. You know, another happy accident. Sometimes it turns out the way you want it, and other times it doesn't. And mine's not, but this is still cool. I still love the little patches I'm getting. Okay. Okay, so let me blow this all off into my garbage. Clean that off a tad. Okay, let me grab my book. So as you can see, this stuff gets messy. So just put it to the side. And then now we are just going to assemble our page. So look how pretty that is. Okay. So I'm going to use my black pen, and we are focusing on verse 18. Mary Magdalene went and announced to the disciples, I have seen the Lord, and that he had said these things to her. I had seen the Lord. I love that. Okay, so another thing that Debbie did is she popped this part up. So I'm gonna grab my, let's see, what is this? Pop dot tape. I got this Crafter Square from the Dollar Tree, I think, Dollar Store, whatever dollar store it is. I haven't even opened it yet. So it's like poofy tape. If I can get it open. There we go. It's like foam tape. And so you just put it on the back of your picture, whatever you want. And it just pops it up. Now, if you want it to be double, you want it higher, you can double these up. So you can put more tape on top of each other. So there we go. So that's gonna pop it up. So again, this was at the dollar store. You can use these for a ton of things. And then you just take off the backing. Like so, if I can get it. Oops. Y'all, I'm having issues left and right, aren't I? That's okay. It's okay, we'll figure it out. It'll be fine. Come on. And everything's sticking to me. Oh, goodness. Okay. So here we go. Here she is. Love her. So she's representing Mary Magdalene. Okay, and then we have all these little flowers. So I'm going to tuck these under and glue them on. So pretty. Let's see, maybe like that? No, like that? Yeah. These are just fussy cut out. Again, it came with the same printable. But again, if you don't have this printable, just pick some flowers that you like. Doesn't even have to be flowers. You could pick a whole other, let's see, where would we want that? Maybe sticking up like that. And then this one is gonna go over her face a little bit. And again, you can pop these up if you want as well. I'm gonna have them like that. And I think this one, I wanna kind of tuck back here. Think maybe like that. And then the copper kind of peeps out from both. Ooh, I love that. Okay, and then I had, I think it blew away. Yeah, I had some more flowers. Let's see. Actually, you know what? I'm wondering if I want a bigger one up here. Well, I've got a big one there. Maybe we'll do this one coming out the side right there. Yeah, that'll look cool. I think that's what Debbie did anyways. She put one on the side. So I'm gonna have this one kind of peeping. Where do we want it? So that's gonna peep out the side there. And then I'm gonna flip this over and cut this. Cute. And then this one, we're gonna stick at the top, peeping down. Ooh, pretty, pretty, pretty. Okay. Now, y'all, I had this glitter, and now I'm wondering if I want to try this, but I think I do. I think we're gonna try, and I don't even know. I haven't even opened this one yet. So this is, oh my gosh, y'all. This is called Fire Opal Glitter by Martha Stewart, and I just love this color. It kind of matched the little flakes I had, and I was thinking of maybe putting some in some of these flowers and maybe just in a few spots in the back. So let me see, I'm gonna try to put some glue in just a few spots of the flowers. And then I'm gonna take the glitter. This is gonna be messy, I'm sure. I'm gonna take a little bit of it and kind of just pat it down with my finger. And then we'll take a brush and brush off the excess. Boy, my desk is gonna be a mess after this. That's okay. Look how pretty that's gonna look, y'all. Okay, we'll put some over there. Let's put some in this flower down here. And then I do want to put some over here. So I'm just doing some just swirly spots of I don't know why. You know, it needs some glitter. Because she sees Jesus after the resurrection, y'all. That's a glitter moment. That's like it's like a glorious moment. Gotta have some glitter for the glorious moment. Actually, I'm gonna put some coming out like that. Anything to make a mess and to have fun and to have some glitter. Oh, I love it. Love it. Okay, and then, okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm gonna use my finger here and just kind of brush off the excess. As you can see where I put the glue and where the glitter sticks, and then lightly brush it off with your fingers. And look at that. It's actually, that wasn't too hard. It wasn't too messy. Okay, now I'm going to put, I think a little, well, I don't know. I think that should be good. Just some glitter in the flowers, and then just some glitter over here. Or do we want some? Okay, we gotta have a little bit more. So I'm gonna put a little bit up here. Trying to figure out where to put my glue. Put a little bit up there. I'm gonna put a little bit coming down here. Oh yeah, a little bit more. Y'all, you're probably like, stop. I'm trying, y'all. I can't help it. I cannot help it. Okay, so after all this, you're gonna be a hot mess, and your desk is gonna be a hot mess. So grab a cloth, wipe everything off, and we are almost done, y'all. Okay, so the last thing that Debbie did is she had, where's my glue? She did a little bow, and she did hers with, I think it was pink and gold, but I went through my bows and I found this ribbon that I had, and it had the circles, even though you can't really tell it's circles, but it had the same color glitter, and it was a wire ribbon. So I just tied it into a bow, and what I'm going to do is kind of taper off the ends here like so, like that. And then I'm going to find a pink, if I can find one. Oh yeah, right here on top, a pink, or I could do white. No, I'm gonna do pink. A pink, what is these? Paper clips. And I got this whole set, y'all, I think from Office Max or something. You can get a whole case of different colored paper clips, different sizes. And then what you do is you take the end of your paper clip. I think I'm gonna put it through the back. And you put it through the little loop-de-loop in the back, you know, the little loop part of your bow. If you can get it all the way through. There we go. And then you just kind of snake it through your paper clip till it's at the top. Like so. And then you can hook it. So I'm gonna put this through the back there. You can hook it through your page right there. And then you can fiddle around with it. I don't know if I want it a little bit smaller, a little smaller bow. I love the thing with these wire ribbons is you can kind of shape them the way you want to. So just grab some ribbon, whatever ribbon you have, and there you go, y'all. So it didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it to with the embossing and stuff, but it still worked. It still came out really cool, a lot cooler than I thought it was going to. So, and I do have some circle ones, so some of them worked. And then I covered them up. So, oh my gosh, y'all, all that for covering it up. But I do have some circle ones here. You can kind of tell. But then I just did glue down here, and that worked just as well also with a little less work to it. So here we go. Let's bring it up close. Let me move this. So here it is up close. Can you see the glitter? And then even with the pearlescent watercolors, can you see the shimmer and shine on that? You got the light pink back here, the dark pink here, and then of course, you know, little patches of glitter. She's got some glitter on her face. We'll have to shake it off. I'll have to blow this off for a little bit. There's the glitter on the flowers. And then the copper flakes down here. And then we pull it over to this side as well. So there's our completed page, both sides. So there we go. Thank you all so much for joining me. And oh, I just noticed, can you see the little splatters from the pearlescent, the really light pink? If you hold it in the light, in a certain light, you can see it just shimmer and shine. I love that. Love that. It just grabs your attention. But anyways, so hope y'all enjoyed that. Thank y'all for joining me. Again, this was not my idea. I kind of copied it, but then I added a few of my own things, and I did it my own way because the way Debbie did it did not work for me. But she knew how to do it really well. But hey, we improvised, and I still love the way it turned out. So yeah, if things aren't working for you, just improvise. Go with the flow. Go with it. You still might love it at the end. Who knows? Well, thanks, y'all. I will see you in the next video. Have a very blessed day. Bye-bye.